Hello, and welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. And today's video is gonna be about me. Because I do a lot of videos on what I think about stuff. But I also think that when I open up about what I'm struggling with, that can be informative too. Not that I represent mentally ill people as a whole at all. But I know that have found validation from survivors sharing their experiences. And that can feel really good to hear somebody on the internet kind of hit on that stress that's going on that you couldn't quite put words to. And so I want to talk about surviving being overwhelmed all the time. Because I've been very overwhelmed for a long time. And it's something that I've gotten used to in a way, because my world completely changed when I left my ex-husband. And I've been trying to find and settle into a new normal that I've never explored before, and that's overwhelming. And then on top of all the stuff that I make videos about that upsets me, and I, searching for that solution of we gotta make stuff better. That's been overwhelming. All the tragedy, all the sadness. That's been really sad. And then on top of that, just living by myself for the first time and having to deal with a lot more flashbacks by myself and mental health stuff by myself. And it's like I lost a memory partner, like somebody who remembers stuff with me to help me remember stuff. And it got to a point where I didn't even watch my video diaries anymore because they were just so sad that I couldn't do it. I couldn't catch myself up on whatever's going on because it would just make me so sad to hear what I'm doing and what I'm thinking about and what's happening. And so, for the past week, I've been having lots of flashbacks. And I mentioned flashbacks very vaguely in my videos. Oh, yeah, I've been dealing with whatever, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. And I've done that in my personal life, too, where I've stopped opening up about my flashbacks. Because everybody's so overwhelmed, I feel like there's no space for it. And I don't want to take up that space because I want to support other people. And so, in order to handle my own stuff too, I look at what's happening through as many different perspectives as I can think of. Because the initial one, the natural one, is, I hate myself, and why am I so stupid? Why am I so different? Why am I so stressed out? I should be able to do all this stuff without having mental breaks. And then taking a step back from that and kind of looking at myself from a bird's eye view and observing the behaviors and the habits and the cycles and all of that stuff and being like, oh, well, I'm just overwhelmed right now. I'm really stressed out. I need to take time to take care of myself. But then what happens is that bird's eye view then turns into a farther back bird's eye view of looking at more people's behaviors and how they're reacting. And maybe that's a part of my brain that's comparing myself to other people, but instead of that comparison, I'm finding similarities of, searching for that validation of, okay, I'm a human and I'm reacting in a normal way confronted with all this stress going on. But then, you know, that takes over, and then by the end of it, I'm having philosophical debate with myself about how people react to stress, and good and bad and gray and black and white worldviews, you know, just contemplating everything that's going on. And then I usually fall into like a political binge until I feel depressed again, and then the cycle repeats itself. I mean, I get the bills paid. I go to work. I parent as best I can. You know, I'm doing the essential things that I need to get done. All the extra stuff not getting done. I have so many ideas for projects that I just can't work on because my brain is so disconnected from me. I don't know. You know? Like, it takes a lot of focus just to eat during the day. It takes a lot of focus just to remember what month it is, what day it is, what's going on. And then add to that, like, just the fear of going out into public because I am more jumpy. I am more hypervigilant. I am more anxious overall. And I'm terrified that people are going to stare at me and classify me in that box of crazy when I'm overwhelmed. I've been overwhelmed for a long time, and I understand I have to continue living, and I have to just continue doing all this stuff. And I get that, and I can do that. I hate feeling like, since I need to talk to myself more, since I need more reminders about what's going on, that's incredibly embarrassing, and I feel shameful about it. I feel shameful about being myself. And, like, what I need to do to cope. And honestly, it's just verbal, out loud reminders to myself. What I'm doing, where I'm going, what my to-do list is that day. Reading things out loud so it sticks to my brain better. Like, really simple stuff that makes sense when you live this life of, oh, my brain's not functioning well right now because I'm having nightly flashbacks, a slew of them that has given me insomnia because they're fucking awful. So, yeah. So that's what I've been up to. And, you know, I still didn't openly talk about my flashbacks because I'm scared of them. But maybe someday soon I can try to tackle that. Hi, it's me again. It's about 12 hours later. I don't know. It's sometime later. I just rewatched the video because I was going to edit it. And there's no ending to that video. And I thought I'd just give a little update. Because after I made that, I reached out to a friend of mine and I asked if they could talk. Because I'm like, I got to talk about these flashbacks. Because I feel like they're destroying me. And a big reason why I'm so overwhelmed. So I reached out to a friend, started talking about the trauma stuff. I was supposed to go to work. Ended up calling off of work because I started to hallucinate and just flashback even more because I was talking about the flashbacks. I was trying to get in a better headspace for work, but then it just opened up all of that hurt. And while talking to my friend, you know, and reflecting on being overwhelmed all the time, and I'm like, you know, I feel like there's a part of my brain that's going to ground one day, and then that part of my brain will have to play catch up since I've been so adrenalized and stressed out for so long. And that freaks me out. Along with just feeling like the trauma. Because, okay, I'm having difficulty eating and sleeping and doing like normal human things that feels like it's killing me. And part of that is feeling unable to talk about stuff. But then at the same time, like, I shame myself. Like, well, I should be over this. This shouldn't bother me. I'm not moving on. I need to move on. And I'm just dwelling in the bad feelings. But the reality of it is, I was sexually assaulted so much last year. I was raped and assaulted not only so much, but by so many people that I trusted and so many friends that I had for years who just took advantage of that and exploited me because I was extremely vulnerable. Because I was in a really low spot. And they could see that. And they knew that I didn't have fight in me. And so they took it upon themselves to, And those are the flashbacks that are like intermingled with childhood flashbacks. Because first the childhood flashback will come, and then some last year flashback will come and like latch onto it because it's like a similar energy. It's a similar feeling of feeling powerless and feeling scared and disassociating so your body doesn't have to feel that pain and you don't have to think about it. Because thinking about it is just way too painful. But then you end up thinking about it all the time anyway because you're having nightly flashbacks. But it's like a secret. It's a secret that I'm carrying around. That all this shit is just infecting my everyday and infecting my thoughts and making me feel distant from everybody around me because I don't trust anybody around me to hear what I'm going through, to hear what I'm thinking about, because it makes me feel stupid and like I'm complaining and I shouldn't complain. And part of it is just how overwhelmed everybody else is. And the other part is just the self-hatred of, like, I feel too negative. I feel like I'm being too much of a downer if I talk about my stuff. So I finally opened up about it a little bit last night, and it sent me into a psychotic episode, and then eventually all of my energy just drained out of my body. I'm like, I have to sleep right now because that was so difficult just trying to process. Like the few flashbacks that I shared with my friend, which my friend, God bless her, she's amazing. She was very sweet. I mean, it's still a painful process. Even if the person's the most understanding person in the world, it's still gonna hurt. So, but I'm hoping today goes better. I'm hoping that I can actually rest and not be stressed out. I gotta go and, bring my dog in and live life. Keep doing life stuff. But I just want to say, if anybody else is feeling like really rough and like you can't talk about stuff, I feel ya. And even though it's really painful to talk about stuff, I think it is what helps me the most in the end. Getting that stuff off my mind and getting a break from it circling and hitting me in the face repeatedly. But I hope all y'all are having good ones, and, sending love to you.